Hey YouTube, welcome back to Love for Crypto. So today I'm not even going to talk about Ripple, XRP or crypto. There is much bigger shit to be talking about today. Now, if you've not already been made aware, stocks took an incredible hit last night. The last 30 minutes of trading, US open market trading, wow. A lot of stuff happened. Let's try and break it down for you a little bit. Okay, so if you've been watching this channel, then you'll know what the Federal Reserve have been doing. You know, the US economy, how great it actually is all you can hear. Well, yesterday we had an epic sell-off of US Treasury bonds. And I think this is 100% evident that China are dumping US Treasury bonds. Now, is this a warning sign to Donald Trump from China, clearly stating, if you want to carry on with these trade wars, Mr. Trump, then you go ahead and do so, son. But please remember, we stopped buying US Treasury bonds and we will dump the fucking load onto you, which will affect your economy. And look what happened yesterday. Treasury bonds had a huge sell-off. It ripple affected onto the NASDAQ, onto the S&P, onto the Dow Jones Industrial. The entire US stock market took an astonishing hit yesterday. Absolutely astonishing hit. Now, it might not be so apparent as of just yet, and I wouldn't like to go to the full extent of claiming that we are in a full meltdown, but by God, are the cracks showing, ladies and gentlemen. The Federal Reserve have been printing and printing and printing US dollars at near interest rates, buying US bonds up, which is filtering into the stock market. And all you can hear is Donald Trump, oh, look how great the American stock market's doing. You know, all this shit. Listen, it's all articulated stuff. If you've been watching the channel, you should be educated on the fact now that it's the only buyer of US bonds has been the Federal Reserve from the printing that they have been doing. Now, it can either go two ways, this. Was this a warning shot from China? Are we going to see US markets open and an absolutely tremendous effort going back into buying US bonds? You know, the 10 to 30 year old has inverted at the moment now, and this is what you want to be watching, the bond market. If the bonds sell off, the interest rates go up, and we know what effect that is having. So, you know, this is either a message from China or we have begun the inevitable, which is obviously the debt currency crisis. We've been talking about it. And I was sat at my house last night with Scott and just couldn't believe what we were seeing on the teller. You know, market shut down 2%. What's going to happen today is going to be very, very key and very interesting indeed. You know, are the US going to come in? Are they going to put all efforts to buy back up them US bonds? Or are they just simply going to keep dumping and dumping? I mean, the only way the US can combat this now, you know, the Federal Reserve, the central banks, you know, they're pretty much at a period of powerless. You know, they've been printing and printing at near zero interest rates. You know, rates raised up a little bit yesterday due to the selling of the US bonds. It's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, it really, your attention should not be on crypto at the moment. It should be on this potential epic collapse. You know, the debt currency crisis, we all know is completely out of control now. The currency contagion is spreading in emerging markets, the likes of, you know, Turkey, Argentina, Venezuela. We've even got India in there. We've got China that are part of that. We've even got the Russian currency, which is part of that, and they're all devaluing against the US dollar. You know, the dollar's strength at the moment, it is inevitable. The dollar is doomed. Listen, this monetary system that we've built upon, all this debt that has been built upon, you know, it's not been real. You know, 2008, the market should have come down. They should have corrected to fair value. The reset should have happened then, but the Federal Reserve overachieved in pumping and inflating the exact same debt bubbles back up, but doing it with so much more magnitude than 2008. It is unbelievable how they've managed to do it. And it'll be even unbelievable today. If they can go out today and you see a tremendous effort into buying them US bonds, you better believe that that is the Federal Reserve and the US government trying their hardest to keep this illusion going. It really is an illusion. There's no other two ways of explaining what is going on at the moment. You know, this is completely out of control now, and we are seeing true fractures of this foundation really starting to show now. Again, You know, it's all right, Donald Trump, big dick, going round to everyone, oh, sanctioning Iran, oh, you can't trade with Iran, threatening to, you know, to put sanctions against people who trade through SWIFT with Iran. Oh, it's unbelievable what is happening. You know, this is articulated. This is a soap fucking opera what is happening right now. It's so predictable. It is untrue. Now today, what do we need to look out for in these markets? I believe the Fed and the US are going to put a tremendous amount of effort into buying back up those bonds, into bringing back down the 10 to 30 year, you know, interest rate yield on the US Treasury bonds, to raise that back down again, because obviously the higher that interest rate is, the harder it is, you know, to service the debt, especially to these emerging. Like, listen, the whole world's about to fucking default. There's no two ways about what the fuck is going to happen. It's just ironic how we have got a cryptocurrency revolution alongside what is happening. You know, it could be the perfect hedge. Gold, Bitcoin, silver, you know, all these types of commodities should take a bid in these type of crises. But it's a very, very, very interesting watch. You know, it was only a year ago I wasn't even into the financial markets. You know, Federal Reserve, US bond treasuries, you know, all these securities, derivatives, products, ETFs, futures, options. I didn't really have a fucking clue what was going on. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, with the 1 year's research that I've done, it's just become so much more fucking clearer that we are on the brink of fucking collapse. We really are. We really, really are. You know, I was saying to Scott and a couple of other lads in the group chat, I need to get this documentary out just in case, you know. And they're like, why? You know, you've got loads of time. Yeah, I was like, I know, but you know, this financial crisis, and I've been saying it is very fucking real. It is really. I mean, how coincidental was it that everybody in the United States on Wednesday got a US presidential alert? Through everybody that's got a cell phone in the US got a presidential emergency fucking alert through as a test. You know, a fucking test. Listen, I think we're coming to the days where ICE 9 is going to have to be imposed. You know, we're talking about a full financial market freeze here. Listen, this can quickly spiral out of fucking control. Make no two ways about it. It can potentially happen overnight. As I said, we cannot rule out this crash to happen this year. Although by Q4 2019, I think, you know, once the base interest rate from the Federal Reserve is plus 4%, you know, the entire world have to fall in line. Listen, this is a debt that can't be paid, ladies and gentlemen. It really can't. The only way to remedy what has happened is with a monetary reset. It's the only fucking way that we can survive this impending currency crisis that is happening. It sounds unbelievable at this moment in time. You know, the US, the Federal Reserve may come back out stronger when the markets open in the US tomorrow. Well, today, shall I say. And they can buy back up them stones. They can bring down that 30-year interest rate on the US bond treasuries. You know, it's all about suppressing rates. You know, don't forget, not Wednesday just gone, the one before, the Federal Reserve increased rates up by 25 basis points. But the reality of it was the actual interest rates on the day went down. They went down, you know. The Federal Reserve increased interest rates and they went fucking down. Listen, it is the markets that we witnessed today. There is no reality there no more. There really isn't, and it's just a shame as what happened back in 2008. You know, just before it all happened. Oh, the Nasdaq's ripping up. Oh, Amazon's taking a great bid, 6% up, 8%. And listen, it's gonna be a very, very interesting watch today. When these stock markets open, it's all eyes on the US bond market. Now, it is 100% apparent to myself, and I genuinely believe it is China who is dumping these bonds. It was only yesterday on Twitter, you know, 4 or 5 hours before the market started turning around, I actually posted saying, what a lot of people do not realise with the US markets is China has stopped buying US Treasury bonds. They've stopped buying them. Listen, 4 or 5 months ago, Russia dumped 80% of US Treasury bonds. You know, China is the biggest holder of US debt at the moment. And they've got their own debt market, China. Make no mistakes about it. They've got their own debt market where they could be investing their money into. You know, they can dump the dollar US Treasury bonds and buy up the Chinese bonds. And honestly, you know, you want to talk about trade wars, you want to talk about weaponizing the US dollar. Donald Trump has been put in this position. He's a puppet. He's 100% a puppet. This is just one big fucking game of stars in your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, this is scripted bullshit, believe me. But now, you know, the uncertainty in the financial markets is what is really going to cause the, you know, the threat, if you want to call it. It is the actual investors. Like, listen, stocks sold off 2% yesterday. The market's closed. You know, it was a tremendous sell-off. Now, listen, that could be 10 times fucking worse today. It really, really could. I mean, I don't want to be out there claiming that the markets are crashing and they're burning. But listen, this was a true taste of what is to come in the very, very near future. The very near future. And it's ironic how, you know, with all this that's going on, you know, you've got Swift that are now advising all their clientele, all 11,000 banks, that they have to upgrade to this new cloud software payment system. You know, fucking hell, it smells like fucking Ripple. It usually fucking is, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget, Swift have enabled to do such a move by collaboration with SAP. And we all know that SAP collaborated with Ripple back in 2016. Listen, we are on the brink of a monetary reset here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, President Trump's come out here. He's pre-warned us. If you could read between the lines, he's warned us. Everybody is going to be on a level playing field very soon. And believe me, when he's talking about this, he's talking about the US fucking dollar acting as the world reserve, hindering on trade deficits on the US side and completely obliterating emerging market currencies on the other side. Listen, it's no good for no fucker, this US reserve status no more. You know, since Bretton Woods 1944, it has served its cycle, and the cycle is about to end. The central banks this time round have no fucking ammunition to reinflate these exact same bubbles that are fracturing, that are about to burst. They have nothing. They cannot buy them back up. Interest rates are at zero. The only thing they can do is negative interest rates, and we will get hyperinflation of the US dollar. If the US is only remedy for this at the moment now is to buy back up US bonds, it's been from printing the US dollar from the Federal Reserve, and that is how we get hyperinflation. There's two things that are going to happen. One, we're either going to see hyperinflation, or two, we're going to see a default, and we're going to see fucking global default this time round. This monetary system is coming to its end, and I believe my hyperinflation will it happen. I do not know. It's probably the worst outcome. You know, the straight up default is the best option. It really is. But you know, I'm just a fucking ordinary guy stuck in fucking traffic on the motorway on the way to work. And, you know, look at all these people in the cars going to work, you know, probably having cigs in the car, you know, a cup of coffee. But oblivious to what is going on. Oblivious. And that's the goddamn fucking truth there, ladies and gentlemen. None of these people know what the fuck is going on about. The middle class. They don't know shit. And this is what this channel is about, raising awareness. Not just for cryptocurrencies, you know, the financial markets, cryptocurrencies, it's interconnected one way or another. And I don't want to say it's great to watch, but it fucking really is, you know. You know, we've been calling this at Love for Crypto. We've been talking about the upcoming financial crisis. And again, I'm not saying this is the tipping point. This is the point where everything fucking, you know, starts evaporating into thin fucking air. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, we could have a big fucking sell-off today in the US markets, and they could close on the weekend, and you know, the lingering crisis is there, and we've been speaking about it, you know, we've been speaking about it, and all these 589 non-believers, you know, in the XRP community, listen, we could have one-way fucking hyperinflation very soon of the US dollar, which, you know, you know, yeah, it's unrealistic, it is, but, you know, these are the types of events that people need to realise, and they're never not taken into consideration. Oh, we can't get to 589. What about if the US dollar just fucking hyperinflates? And this shit can happen over fucking night, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at like Argentina, interest rates up to 45 fucking percent. If the US increase interest rates past 4%, that's the tipping point there, ladies and gentlemen. That is unsustainable debt. That is when you're going to get mass defaults from the ECB, from fucking every fucker in this world, believe me. So I hope you have found this video insightful, really, more than anything. Honestly, if you want to go and check out Lynette at ITM Trading, go and check out Money GPS, go and check out Gregory Manarino. These are the three people that I follow. Everybody's echoing the same fucking calls, ladies and gentlemen. And these people have been waiting this for a long time. You know, we've been in this space for the year. Realistically, been focusing on the crisis for about 6 months. But, you know, it's on our fucking doorstep, ladies and gentlemen, honest to God. And let's just see how long the Fed can keep the illusion alive. I genuinely believe this could have been a warning shot from China. You know, showing US President Donald Trump exactly. Listen, China have weaponized the fucking debt. Believe me. Listen, China could just dump off bonds, and when bonds dump off, interest rates goes up, and in turn, the US stock markets will fucking sell off just as fast. Honest to God, it's unbelievable. Keep a fucking eye on the markets today, ladies. It could be a 10% sell-off day. It could be another bite. You know, I'm not saying the stocks are over yet. They could potentially go up even higher, but it's all about the US bond market, and it's all about, are the Fed going to keep buying it up, and can they keep buying it up? You know, they've reinflated the debt bubble for 10 fucking years, ladies and gentlemen. They've clearly got the potential to do so, to keep the illusion alive. But look, listen, this market is not lasting past Q4 2019. It could potentially go down this fucking month. Potentially. It is that real. I hope you enjoyed the video. I mean, I woke up today, mate. I don't know whether it'd be fucking upset or not. But, you know, listen, this type of crisis is going to be fucking global. It is going to be global. A global fucking meltdown. Listen, this is history. This is the worst crash in history. In fucking history.